KFSR and CMAC present the Central Valley Ledger, a public affairs program featuring stories from all over the Central Valley with Sevag Tateosian, 90.7 KFSR.
My name's Renee. I was at the Lighthouse in 2012.
My name is Elizabeth. I was in the Lighthouse in 2009.
I'm Dorothy Ramirez. I have graduated from the Lighthouse in 2014.
Hi, my name is Amina and I came to the Lighthouse in 2012.
Hi, my name is Stephanie. I got to the Lighthouse about 3 months ago.
My name is Leah. I entered into the Lighthouse in 2007.
My name is Gayla. I was here at the Lighthouse in 2011.
Hi, my name is Elvia Garcia. I was at the Lighthouse the year 2008.
My name is Erin. I was graduated from the Lighthouse in 2015.
Hi, I'm Cody. I came here in 2016.
I was the first lady into the program where I met Vikki Luna and her house manager, Lisa.
While I was here, I built my relationship with God. They taught me how to hold myself accountable.
And it's taught me many things about boundaries, setting boundaries, and
not just only boundaries, but keep my yeses my yes, my no's my no's.
The Lighthouse has taught me to love myself. I felt appreciated and loved.
I have hope and I have a future.
To be more independent and learn how to save money.
The Lighthouse taught me all about Jesus and a relationship with Him.
So since then, I have maintained a full-time job. I have my children living at home with me now. I actually worked 2 or 3 jobs at one point, and I bought myself a new car, have my driver's license back, and I continue to stay healthy and sober and to take care of my life. And I'm appreciating for that. Thank you.
Today I hold a full-time job. I'm in a very healthy relationship, getting married in the fall, and I have both my kids with me all the time, being a great mother.
Today, I am a blessed child of God. I'm employed full-time. I am a good mother to my 4 children. And today, I'm planning my wedding. I consider the Lighthouse my family. They still offer me support whenever I'm in need. My life has never been the same without the Lighthouse and God's grace. I would still be lost.
I was married and I had 3 grown children. The Lord has started to restore those relationships for me. I will have my 2nd year sober anniversary this Saturday, April 30th, and I am working at Fresno Rescue Mission Thrift Store and Cars. It'll be 2 years this October.
I became the house manager here at the Lighthouse. I'm involved with Celebrate Recovery. I'm a leader there. I'm a leader at my church as well. I teach children's Bible study. And today I'm very much involved with, not just with ministry, but I'm finding also who I am today. And I'm able to give back what was once given to me.
My relationships are all being restored since I've been here. Anything that I've destroyed or kind of threw away is all being given back and then some. I will be looking for employment in the next couple weeks, so I'm excited about my life.
I have a job in place and I'm working on my GED. And I'm really looking forward to my life ahead of me.
I resisted coming into the Lighthouse at first, and it was a hard transition for me, but once I came in here, I found love and the truth of God and who I am in Christ, and I have not looked back since. I continue going to church. I turn to Vicky anytime that I need help with anything. And now I am actually employable. I have a job that I work 5 days a week. I raise my kids. I take them to church. We read the Bible every night. We say our prayers. I'm teaching them about the love of God that I found, that I have just held onto for all this time.
I'm just so grateful that Vikki Luna helped me with a lot of things. I also have done classes as well, like NA classes. I joined Bible studies. And it was awesome to learn more about God as well.
I can't express with words how grateful I am what I experienced here at the Lighthouse.
I'm your host, Sevag Tateosian. You just got done watching a video of the organization that we are going to be talking to next. Our guest this week is Vikki Luna. She's with the Lighthouse Recovery Program here in downtown Fresno.
Yes, hello.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So we just got done airing the 4-minute or so video about the testimonial about how great your organization is. And you're located here, right? Very close to the beautiful downtown Fresno studios that we're at. You're very close to here, correct?
Just a block away. Yeah.
And tell us about, before we get into the organization, tell us about yourself. Why did you get involved in this organization?
Well, born and raised here in Fresno, and working with women recovering from drug and alcohol abuse wasn't my plan. It wasn't my career goal, actually. I worked in the juvenile justice system, and I worked with the juveniles, so I got to hear them cry when moms didn't show up for visits. I got to see no one calling for them, no one concerned about them. And most of the time it was because mom had a drug or alcohol problem, or mom would come and she wouldn't be dressed appropriately, or she'd be under the influence. And so I got to see the hurts of those kids in those institutions. And but as my family started to grow, I needed an 8-to-5 job. And so I went to the department and said, where can I go today that's Monday through Friday? And they said, well, substance abuse services or mental health. I says, I'll take mental health because I can't help it. And they says, well, you have to round robin one Saturday a month, and I didn't want to risk that. So I said, okay, give me the addicts. I'll do it, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And so my job initially was to assess the level of care needed and then refer them into the appropriate level of care. And so in doing that, within weeks, my heart broke for the women that I was assessing. What God showed me in hearing their stories was that these women were actually those little girls that were in the institution. They're just now in adult bodies, and they're broken and they're hurting, and a majority of those women suffering and struggling with drug and alcohol addiction have trauma in their background. So that began my heart, my burden for them.
You know, I want to ask you a question about the struggles people are facing out there, because sometimes, I say this all the time, because sometimes when our coffee is not hot enough, we get a little upset. Or maybe the meal or the evening didn't go as planned, and so we get grouchy. But compared to some of the things you've seen out there, should we really be upset at the little things in life?
No. We are really a blessed people, and we really need to count our blessings and name them one by one. The struggles that these women face. We recently had a graduate. She was 20 years old when she came to our program. Mother of 3 and pregnant with the 4th.
Wow.
She never even stepped foot on a high school campus.
Wow.
She got involved with a man who was abusing her and introduced her to drugs. At the young age of 14 years old, she began being beaten daily, using drugs with him daily, and began to have children. She was not equipped to be a mother or to even be a young adult or a teenager. But when she graduated our program, she now has her GED in addition to her sobriety, her driver's license. She got and has obtained and maintained her first job ever. She's been there now a little over 6 months employed. She's getting her children back. But those barriers, had she have not accomplished those goals, those would all be barriers to a young mother. Life is already hard enough. Can you imagine getting on the bus in the rain with 3, 4 children? So there's lots of struggles out there that you and I don't necessarily experience every day.
Tell us a little bit about how this program works. So you hear that there's a young lady struggling, and then what?
Well, she'll call, and we do a phone screen to assess a brief screening is what it's called, to assess the level of care, because we're a 6-month residential program, and we want to make sure that that's the level of care that she needs. Once that's identified, we make sure that we are the appropriate facility to serve her needs. So if she's taking medications that are addictive, those need to be modified before she's able to come in. If she has any mental disabilities that have not been addressed, diagnosed and addressed, then that needs to be resolved. So we start to be the liaison to try to assist her in getting these things, these barriers to entering our program removed. Then once she actually enters, and some days a woman could call and come in the same day, but sometimes they have issues that we need to get addressed first. Then they come in. It's a 6-month program, very intensive. So for the first 90 days, they are in classroom Monday through Thursday from 9 to 3.
Wow. So if they're coming in, they have to understand that it's a strict curriculum. I mean, there's no
Yes.
joke here.
Yeah, no. We depend on investors, private donors, churches, local businesses, and so as an individual, I want a good return on my investment, and so I expect to be able to give everybody who donates, who invests in the Lighthouse, a good return on their investment. So a woman has to be ready for change, ready for recovery. It's very intensive. I usually don't have to terminate people. I meet them at the gate. I let them know what we're about, what they can expect, what we expect, and then we decide to march together on their wellness and recovery journey, or they decide not to stay. And so it's pretty simple, but very intensive. They're in the classroom Monday through Friday from 9 to 3. On Fridays, they do work experience therapy somewhere in the community. Our coffee shop at Cornerstone Coffee
And
Company.
I want to talk about that. A perfect segue into that. So I work in downtown, my day job, and I sometimes will walk down the street from me and get coffee at a little coffee shop on the corner of a cul-de-sac area or intersection. Wonderful people work there. My experience has been great. And then I found out, wait a minute, there's a connection. The proceeds go to your organization. So tell us about the coffee shop.
Such a blessing. It's one of 2 social enterprises that we operate. So yes, we depend on the community to donate to our organization, to invest in the work we're doing. But we also teach the women not to have an entitlement mentality or a dependent mentality. We don't allow them to do free things like go get food giveaways and go sign up for free telephones. We want them to learn to be independent. Excuse me. And so they have to become employed before they graduate our program.
Wow.
So we have to prepare them for that. So the first 3 months, they not only are getting work experience therapy, but they're also attending a job readiness class every single week by a woman who is a local businesswoman. And she comes in and prepares them for employment. So all of them become employed before they leave us. And so the coffee shop is very instrumental. Cornerstone Church so graciously gifts that to the organization of the Lighthouse. And so 100% of the proceeds go to the Lighthouse Recovery Program.
So the little coffee shop right next to Cornerstone in downtown Fresno, if anybody wants coffee, go there. I'm plugging you right now saying
Wonderful.
Go there. And if you go there, it's going to go back to this great cause. And by the way, you have not only great coffees, I had a cinnamon roll there the other day. And the cinnamon roll was very good too. But those kind of partnerships are so important.
Yes.
For you, if you didn't have those kind of business relationship partnerships, how much more difficult would your job be?
Oh, we would cease to exist. I mean, it takes money to keep the lights on. It takes money to clothe and feed. And so we have wonderful community partners that assist us in achieving those goals and meeting those needs.
How can our audience members help? I mean, donations or items, or as we know, it's Christmas time, and so people want to donate gifts and stuff like that. Do you accept those, or do you prefer monetary?
We do. Whatever people are able to give. If it's something they'd like to receive, we'd like to receive it as well. So if it's money to pay the PG&E, great. If it's a gallon of milk for the cereal in the morning, wonderful. All we can do is what we can do. All we can do is our best. And so it's everybody working together, where some might, a sacrificial gift might be a $25 grocery box, where other people might be a $2,500 monetary donation. So whatever God puts on their heart to share with us, we willingly and gladly, gratefully accept.
So what's your capacity? I mean, is it like, can you have 10, 15?
18 women.
18 women, wow.
18 women, but we usually only fill to 15
Okay.
because we leave beds available because we have children who come on the weekends to stay with mom at times. And so we don't ever really fill to capacity because we have children who come on the weekends.
And what I hear from you is that there is a need out there where you could easily fill capacity. I mean, talk about the need of programs like the Lighthouse Recovery Program.
Oh, yes. People are hurt. People are hurting out there. People are wandering in the streets. We've heard a lot about our homeless.
Yes.
However, in a program, they're not just getting a handout. They are getting a helping hand up. And so there's structure there. But we have many people struggling with drug and alcohol abuse and addiction because drugs and alcohol, let's face it, they help you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
They take away the struggle, the feelings, the thoughts that people are struggling with. And so they help to numb that pain. And so people are self-medicating is really what they're doing. And then it escalates and begins an addiction.
There are some people who will say, who cares? Who cares about this segment of the population? They've made their choices. We don't care about them.
Mm-hmm.
Why should we care?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You know, we don't get to choose which family we're born into. We really don't. And the stories that I hear from these women, I have 3 young ladies right now who have no mother, no physical mother. Mother either died from drug addiction, mother was killed in a car accident, or mother is just absent, period. When you don't feel love from your own mother, or when your own mother is not there to nurture you because she's struggling with depression, or she's struggling with abuse or of alcohol, or she's a victim of domestic violence herself, you don't feel important. And if you don't feel loved, then you're always searching to feel, to get that gratification. So that's why we have women from various, different histories and backgrounds. You know, women who are victims of domestic violence, human trafficking, they have abused their children or what have you, because the cycle continues unless we break it. And I have found that we can minister to children, we can take care of children, and that's wonderful, we should. But a child always longs for its mother, always. No one can really replace the mother in a child's life. And so I really feel that it's my calling to help empower women to love themselves, to come to a place of empowerment that they can then turn around and love their children, and we can stop that cycle.
How excited do you get when a young lady comes into the program, works her tail off, because it sounds like it is a pretty tough program. I mean, you can't just slide by. To me, that's what it sounds like. How excited are you when you see them come in and then 6 months later they get out, they're ready for a job, they've changed their life?
I get super excited. I'm just like, you didn't think you could do it, but look, you're doing it. And they're just like, oh my gosh, I never thought I would hold a job. I never thought I'd have $1,500 in the bank. Oh my gosh, I'm a taxpayer, they say, you know. I pay my own cell phone bill. I mean, it's just so empowering to watch them light up and you know, they say thank you, and that's all we need. You know, that's all we need is I tell them that my reward, because they often say, you know, thank you so much. Thank you to the Lighthouse. How can I ever repay you? And I say it's simply saying thank you and then showing your commitment to yourself, to recovery, to your children, to your community by maintaining your sobriety. So we maintain over 80% success rate.
Wow.
The very first lady who ever walked through our doors in 2007, we still have contact with her. She was sitting behind me in church on Sunday.
That's exciting. That's exciting that your program is changing people's lives for the better. Tell us a little bit more about what else you're looking for in the community. Are you looking for businesses to step up and say, you know what, we will hire some of your clients, or what is it you need from the business community?
We could always use more employment resources for women. Again, they go out into the community on Fridays, so more partnerships with different businesses locally to offer them work experience therapy on Fridays, but with the possibility of moving into employment, because that's the goal. But it at least prepares them for employment. Any businesses out there that might have resources that we could utilize, whether it's appliances or I don't know if you've seen our big blue 15-passenger van on the streets of downtown. Well, if you ever see it, you'll be able to spot it right away. You know, our old blue has been faithful, but it's time for a new 15-passenger van. If someone has, you know, a business where they have supplies, you know, we use bleach, we use laundry soap. So anything that helps with the operations, local businesses, if they have that ability to help us in any area.
So do they live there? I mean, do
They
you,
live there.
so for 6 months, they live in the program. I mean, that's impressive. So little things that many people may not really realize that you need. The soap, you know, toilet paper. I mean, those kind of things you could use as well because
Oh,
you have
absolutely.
15 people living there.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Anything that it takes to run your household, it takes to run theirs. So.
Tell us about the shirts. I was going through your website. I saw a couple of shirts, pictures. What are those shirts? And our audience members watching this are going to see it while you talk about it.
That is another social enterprise. So we have two, as I mentioned. This social enterprise was funded by Fresno Pacific University Center for Community Transformation. They have what they call Spark Tank every year.
I'm well aware of Spark Tank.
Well, we are the only two-time first place winners of Spark Tank.
Very impressive.
Yes,
Congratulations.
yes, thank you. Actually, the girls do it all. And so what we won first place for that Spark Tank pitch, and they gifted us $3,000. And what we did with that was we bought the equipment, the software, and the heat press, and we make shirts that have girls call them bling, but it's rhinestone apparel, right? The girls create these designs, they make the apparel, and then they tag it with their picture and their success story, and then they're sold in the community.
So how can we buy them and how much are they?
Well, they range. Tank tops are different than, you know, a split sleeve or a cold shoulder. You know, it's the latest fashion. But various locations. So they're sold, I think we have 4 or 5 partners right now. But if there's salons or local little boutiques that would like to carry our line, it's basically kind of like a consignment. So it doesn't cost the business owner anything, and they get 25% of the proceeds.
What excites me about this is, and I'm thinking about the coffee shop because I've seen that operation. You know, you go to the coffee shop and you're like in any coffee shop. The product is good. They're working hard in there. I could just imagine them making these shirts. I mean, so you know, you've probably seen them make the shirts. How excited are they when they're making these shirts?
Well, you know what? Until they get it, it's frustrating because it's very, you know, tedious. But and it takes a lot of patience to make those because you have to get each rhinestone in place, and it's a process. So it's not a quick cup of coffee. It's a process, and so it works their patience, but when they have that final product, they feel so accomplished. And then when they see somebody wearing it in public, they're like, oh my gosh, did you see that lady? She was wearing our shirt. So I told them before long, girls, our shirts will be in Macy's.
Hey, you never know.
That's right.
You never know.
That's right.
I want to talk about your organization some more. Nonprofit?
Nonprofit.
You have a board governing. Talk about the structure.
Yes, we have 9 board members. We meet monthly. Right now, our board chairperson is Larry Arce.
Oh, Fresno Rescue Mission.
Yes, he was at the Fresno Rescue Mission for 19 years. And what he did with their budget from from the beginning of his career with them to the end was miraculous. And so I'm very happy to have him directing our program.
It sounds like you're this little great secret, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but I had no idea about your organization. And then, you know, the pieces are coming together, and I'm learning what a great service you do for our community. Is that common? Or do you, when people learn about you, do they say, wow, this is in our backyard and we didn't even know?
They do say that. We are Fresno's best kept secret. We're a hidden little treasure in downtown Fresno. You know, when I started the Lighthouse, I really didn't know what I was doing as far as running a nonprofit, the business side of it, all the finances it was going to take, all of the networking it takes. I was ignorant to that side of it. I just saw a need, and I just felt a burden to help meet that need. And so I stepped out in faith, and I did what I could with what I had. And that's all God asks us to do, right? And then he miraculously shows up and does the rest. but I did what I could with what I had, and as time went on and I started getting wisdom and counsel, people were giving me, little nuggets, but I was already actually doing the physical work of showing up every morning. So I got stuck behind the desk in the office doing, administrative stuff. And when you have a very small budget, it was just me and a receptionist to begin with, right? Me and a house monitor, then me, a house monitor receptionist, and then me, house monitor, receptionist, drug and alcohol counselor. So little by little. So probably about the last 2 years, I've been able to go to at least 2 networking events a month. But really, I need to go to a networking event every day, really to talk it up and get it out. So it's wonderful opportunities like this, so thank you for having us.
You're welcome, and thank you for your service. On that note, believe it or not, we're out of time this week on the program, so thank you for making the trek here, not too far down the street.
That's right.
To the studio to talk about your wonderful program. And I'm going to visit that coffee shop more.
Wonderful, and come see us at the house.
Will do,
Come see us at the house.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's all for this edition of the Central Valley Ledger. We're recording out of the beautiful downtown Fresno studios of the Community Media Access Collaborative Fresno Clovis, not too far from the Lighthouse Recovery Program, from which Miss Vikki Luna is with and joined us on this program. Thank you to the audience members listening to this broadcast on KFSR 90.7 FM and to those watching the broadcast on CMAC, Comcast 93, and AT&T 99. We hope you enjoyed the program. Finally, thank you to the crew that made this production and every production possible. We couldn't do this without you. With your help, we get these wonderful stories out to the public. That's all for this edition of the program. Tune in next week to a new edition.
KFSR and CMAC present the Central Valley Ledger every Sunday morning at 11:30. For a complete program schedule, visit kfsr.org.